It's the recap of the Rabbitohs versus the Bulldogs. Good Friday clash where we won 36 points to 16 in a clash that started, it was a bit of an arm wrestle for the first 20 minutes. I thought the Bulldogs were on top, field position-wise. They put a lot of pressure on us, on our own line. But I thought we stood up pretty well. And once we hit about 20-minute mark, I was looking at the possession. And I think they had 57% of the ball. So we did really well to hang in there and only be down 6 blot. And then from there on in, Liam Knight come on the field and everything changed. We just completely dominated the middle of the field. And it was a massive onslaught from there.
Well, speaking of game changers, Rabbitohs TV is brought to you by Darryl Lee. And this little fella, the milk chocolate Bilby, is on sale now at Woolies. 20 cents from every purchase goes to the Save the Bilby Fund. Because Darryl Lee, at Darryl Lee, there is something special in every bite.
Well, it's a must on Easter weekend.
It is.
You've got to have all your Darryl Lee products.
Got the eggs too on sale. So it's Easter tomorrow. You've got time to get out now. Go to your local Woolies.
Get something for the kids.
Something for the kids.
On Saturday morning, we're recording here.
Get something for yourself too while you're there.
In the Botany Studios.
But yes, chaps, okay, so we were down 6-0. And then the Marshall King sin bin sort of changed the game. We had that extra space and our man Damien Cook took advantage of it.
It was huge, but I had a few doggy supporters I bumped at the park today and they were complaining about that. But this went on for the first 20 minutes. They just kept holding us down the ruck, infringing. Anytime we pushed to our edges, they were up in our back line. They're offside. He warned them 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, well, they had to do something.
Young Marshall King, who was playing well at the time, I thought, he went off the field and then it was basically 3 tries in 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was. And also another turning point was the Chris Patolo head clash, the sickening head clash, and it was with Josh Jackson. Now,
caused by Cameron Murray. Speed between 2 players.
That's right. Straight through the gap, bends the line. He had a great game too, Cam. But that head clash, I was sitting next to my missus and she said, how isn't Josh Jackson going off? I mean, we all saw the head covered in blood, split. It was in Disneyland. So they both had to go off. On the call on Foxtel, Steve Roach said that. How isn't he going off? And Dickie Maven, we just had a chat to him with his recap, and he said the same thing. He said, what's doing there? And so you'll probably hear more about that. He had to go off, surely, chaps.
Yeah, it was. The blood was sort of pissing out of his head.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a good look. He looked a bit dazed and confused. You could see his eyes; they weren't all there straight off the bat.
We're all about player welfare with this HIA thing. We completely agree with it. We've spoken about it before on the show, and the way to manage that is to get them off, do a HIA, see if they're all right. If they are, come back on. It's a free interchange. Use someone off the bench. Anyway, we'll move on. So the tries. The first try, Cookie scooted out from dummy half. He took advantage of the space that was left by a 12-man team, and it was classic Cookie from dummy half. And the signs were there last week. We spoke about him. He was running the ball a bit more, and it was great to see him dart out and get that first try.
Yeah, but a lot of that is they're stacking sides wherever So if we have Cody on one side with Cam there, opposition teams are stacking that side, and that's where Cookie took the advantage. He knew he was going to be one-on-one with the bloke, straight over the top, put the ball down, and they've kicked off. A couple of tackles later, Elias goes right to the line, cops a big shot, puts Campbell Graham through a hole, and we were pouring through. He had options all over the joint. He could have went to Taffy on the right. He hits Damien Cook. 2 tries under the post in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Outstanding.
Well, it was a beautiful moment. Damien gave a wave to his pop that just passed away recently, and
I noticed that. Yeah.
So we're thinking of you and the family, mate. And it was a nice moment. But Blocker also liked that from Lockie. He liked his work, how he went to the line, and we all love it too. And he copped a shot, and he's not afraid to do that if it means he's going to put Stretch through the hole and Cookie backing up on the inside. It was beautiful to watch. Great try. And then the third try, we were sitting right there in that corner, and we filmed a bit of footage for Rabbitohs TV from the stands, and it was classic. It was Liam Knight took a hit up, Cookie in the dummy half, to Cameron, to Cody, out the back to Taffy, who had a little bit to do, did a little double pump, committed the winger to AJ untouched and a little swan dive in the corner. Great try.
And he turned around and put his fingers over there to Taffy. It was, and I was up sitting with the Taff family then too.
Yep.
Sitting next to his dad, his cousin Bo behind me, his uncle Brad there. They were all out there. Yep. Offo was there too.
And not only that,
big team.
Not only that, then he casually slots it from the sideline, and we filmed that on Rabbitohs TV.
On a side note, 10 from 10 this season, Blake.
Hasn't missed a goal.
I didn't expect it. You're not expecting someone to kick that well.
No.
Coming into a season where he hadn't played any football prior to that.
Yep.
Besides the Charity Shield. So hats off to you, Taffy. And under the high ball, pretty safe.
Yep.
We got caught there in the second half with one where it just bounced between defenders. These things happen. But other than that, one in the first half maybe come our way. But Taff, geez, he's putting up a case to really stay there.
Well, he is. Look, we're going to talk about the team later, but he really has. And James White, formerly from Burke Street Bakery, our mate on the show, he thinks that he's seen enough now to put Blake at fullback and Latrell to the centres. Now, look, we keep hearing it, and I was saying, look, you're not going to move Latrell, but the way things are panning out, who knows? Well, it's up to JD, but we'll see. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about
that a little bit later.
But
And okay, so then
the next try, mate. Yeah.
The AJ tried, Chaps. How close to the record is he now after that one?
Well, he scored again, but that was the next one was a double cutout pass, face ball from Cody Walker, who's starting to get a bit of confidence. Scored in that. I think it was the 43rd minute in the second half. We were on top straight away, and that put him to 140 tries. That's only 4 tries behind the great Benny Waring, we've talked about on the show many times, and then 6 behind the mercurial Nathan Merritt, who was just a fan favourite, one of my favourite all-time South players. Look, this record's going to be coming thick and fast over the next month or two. I can't see it not being broken. And the kid's 27, AJ. He's within 70 odd of 60 or 70 odd of the great Ken Irvine on 212. So AJ is coming for you, Ken Irvine. Don't worry about that.
AJ is probably odds on, I'd say, at the moment, if I was posting a market, to be the GOAT try scorer. The greatest of all time.
Well, he's going to be the greatest try scorer at our club, barring a disastrous injury. But
yeah. Oh, he's coming for Nath Merritt, and then he's coming for Kenny Irvine. I'm saying it right here now, and we'll do a special show on Rabbitohs TV, and hopefully he'll come on. If you're watching this, AJ, we're still waiting for you. We'll get you. We're going to get you at training and have a chat. But I did skip ahead there. So, yes, that try was his second try, and that pass from Cody was the sign that Cody could be back.
Yeah, he took a few wrong options at the back end of the game here and there with the Hosty. He should have hit Hosty straight away or went out the back. I think it was on both. Double pump, second guessed himself a little bit, but that try there is going to give him a bit of confidence. It was a nice pass. He also got us a couple of repeat sets with the kick. I think there was one in the first half where Canterbury bobbled it, knocked it on. And also in the second half, he looked up, grubbed, and one of the Canterbury blokes knocked on. He also did a nice pass to 3 or 4 South blokes. Jai got it and coughed it up. Could have went to any 3 of them, we score. Yep. So he's starting to get that confidence back, mate. And,
look out, opposition teams when he does.
Look, the pressure told. We kept going down that end. And eventually out of the hooker position, Cookie scored that third try. Went a set piece from a scrum. Lockie Elias fed the scrum. He went out to first receiver. Cookie's in at lock. Jumps out. Pangai Jr. over pursues. Left foot again. Straight under the post. First hat trick since 2015 by a starting hooker. I think it was Jake Granville, they said on the Fox call. But the first hat trick by a hooker under the post in NRL history.
Wow.
Not a bad stat.
That's a big stat, chaps. I don't know how you can confirm that. Maybe David Middleton might be able to say that.
Hey, thanks for that, Middo, by the way.
Yeah, and just on Pangai Jr., they pretty much contained him fairly well. I think the first tackle of the game on him, they described it as a sea of Rabbitohs swamped him. And he's the leading offloader in the NRL, and he only got 2 yesterday. So that was probably on the tip sheet to contain him. But yeah, Cookie hat trick, beautiful. And then we'll move on to Isaiah Tass. Now they called him Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah. I think I asked him that.
Well, it's a unique spelling, isn't it? I-S-A-I-A-H.
Yeah, that's right. Same as Isaiah Vaialelo, another young gun in the club. So we filmed him make his debut. He had the card there, and it's quite funny because he kept trying to give the card to the lady, and she's not taking it until the bloke comes off the field, but he kept trying. It was quite funny. And you go on our homepage and it'll be there, but he eventually got on. And when he did, there was a big cheer to our left, and we looked, and it was his family and friends. And we got, my missus was there, Sam, and she got a little bit emotional seeing that because it was a great moment. And we captured it on Rabbitohs TV. And not only that, not many players in this great game, this history of this game since 1908 have scored a try on their first game in the in the NRL.
Well, before we get to the try, he had a famous, looked like could have been a relative there. It was who's been in the media a little bit lately. Albert Kelly, the 5'8" for the Broncos, who he was on crutches, limping down. I've seen him he had a red flannel down there, sitting with the family, and I don't know if it was an ankle injury from the game, but it might have got worse from stepping on Payne Huss's foot. I'm not sure. Unconfirmed reports. But and they all went up as one when he went on the field, and they went berserk when he scored the try. And the try was laid on by, again, Cody Walker getting his confidence back. A double cut-out face ball to AJ. AJ had a look at the line, stepped back on the inside, flick pass out the back to Tass. Tass lunges for the line, beats Pungai Jr. back over and plants it down. It was a really confident finish from the young bloke, and they went berserk. Elias jumped on him, and Taffy was onto him.
It was unreal. And then the family again went up, and we filmed a bit of that. So that was awesome. But
great moment.
Yep.
Mavo.
Could Albert have picked a bigger bloke to step on his foot? You know, like there's an old saying, don't bite off more than you can chew. So anyway, he did. So let's mention some players. Liam Knight, 40 minutes off the bench.
Turn the game.
21 runs, 202 metres. Now, we do talk about stats a lot, but that's a great stat. 200 metres off the bench in half a game and 106 post-contact metres. And that's a huge stat because that means he's hitting the line and he's dragging defenders or he's getting through the hole. And that takes a big toll on the middle. And if we can dominate the middle, we win games, as we did yesterday.
We spent a lot of time in the tram lines down the middle of the field, and it works for our game plan. Once we start to dominate that middle, we start to hit our edges, and that's where we get our points from. But not only that, Liam's probably going to get some big raps for his metres and post-contact metres, but I thought defensively, come up. If there was a big shot, I'd have to look and see who it was once they come up. Oh, Liam Knight again.
Yep.
Really big shots in the middle of the field. He's not only dominating when we've got the ball, without the ball. He's quite an intimidating guy. And this guy, if you think about it, he was highly touted, highly recruited.
Yes.
One of the best front rowers in the country out of Manly.
Yep.
The Roosters grabbed him, the Grub Club. They love to go and get the big stars. Didn't work out. Another bloke that they haven't been able to develop.
Yep.
Went down to Canberra, made his debut under Sticky, played some pretty good footy, gets a phone call off Wayne. Bang, he thought it was a G-up. Wayne gets him up here, had a great first season off the bench. Wasn't at his best last year, but we're starting to see this bloke come through. And hats off to JD.
Yep.
To get a bloke like that who might have been down on luck, down on confidence, coming off an injury. But he was the best forward on the field.
Yep, most importantly, no errors. And that has what he has copped some criticism for. So holding the ball, simple thing, but doing it makes a big difference. And yeah, it is a big unit, 6'4", and bends the line. Cam Murray, 10 out of 10 from our man Darren Brown, Razzle Dazzle Brown. Now, he can't make it today. He's at work. Shout out to you, mate. But he was impressed by Cam, as always, getting through the line. And the other one who was impressed with is Hame Sele. Welcome back, mate, if you're watching this. We've got to get you on for a chat too soon. The ham salad, it was awesome
The ham salad was good, yeah. Foot speed, leg drive. Again, defensively, I thought he was fantastic in our trials. JD, me and Brownie spoke to JD a couple of weeks ago, and he thought he was the most impressive forward in the pre-season, in the trials. Didn't play a game since the Charity Shield. It was his first game in first grade, so great to have him back. He's going to be a big asset going forward. And hats off to the whole bench. They all contributed.
They did.
Including Tass, your Liam Knights, your ham salads, mate. Outstanding.
Outstanding. So let's roll into this selection dilemma for JD this week. We just mentioned Tass. Now, is he going to go into the starting side? The options are, we just spoke about it before we went on air, is that we could move Tane to the wing. Isaiah Tass is an out-and-out left centre specialist. He'd fit in beautifully on the lethal left. Does that mean the Sauce makes way or Tane makes way, chaps?
Well, the Sauce. I mean, everyone left impressed with him yesterday. A couple of nice carries.
Yep.
Gets under that high ball. I mean, I asked him, we interviewed him at the P&O members post-match function yesterday. We were lucky enough. And, well, I'll do a little side story. Anyway, he comes up fully kitted. Jumper on, shorts, socks, boots and everything.
Yeah, he did.
It sort of surprised me. Most of them have a shower and come up, in the
There
polo.
was no time.
He got straight up there and anyway, I asked him, what's it like being under one of the Matt Burton high balls? And he said, mate, I won't lie to you, it's scary. But he handled that job well, didn't he?
He did.
A couple of towering bombs.
Yep.
And I think he got a bit of confidence.
He did. Yeah, I thought he played well.
It's going to be a tough decision for JD, whether you drop the experience, 175 games this bloke's played first grade, played at all levels, played for Australia, New South Wales, Lebanon, he's played at all levels.
Yep.
You got a young guy, Tane Milne, who's grabbed every opportunity, he's playing well, he's strong. It comes down to those two. I wouldn't want to be making this decision,
No.
JD, but you know what? I know he'll make the right one.
So there's another. Well, he might just leave Zaya on the bench and use him as a backup, like he did. Wasn't required until he put him on. But also Davey Moali, who came down with COVID. Shout out to you, mate. Hope you're okay. But he might be available next week as well.
JD said that in the press conference. He'll be available next week for the Tigers game. Rest up, Big Davey.
Love to see him get back. We love his work here on the show.
Davey, chips and gravy, mate. Yeah, we'll have him back next week.
Yeah, so that's so the team will come out. Teamless Tuesday, we'll be doing a show, and we've mentioned we did the post game show. Thank you to all the members who came up there and had a chat to us, and Denise, I think it's Pinelli, come up and said hello. She's always commenting on our stuff, and
lovely lady.
All of them thanked us for what we're doing and said we're doing a good job. So thank you for that. We appreciate the support, and keep coming to our shows. Make sure you're a member of the Rabbitohs. Go to members.rabbitohs on their website, or give them a ring. There's some links.
And the other thing you can get up there is we do a guessing competition, give away a $50 voucher to rabbitohsshop.com.au.
Yeah, we do.
We have a raffle for the match day ball, but most importantly, a bloke like the Sauce, who I said came fully kitted, he left in Cozies only. He gave away his shoes, his socks, his playing shorts, and then young JJ, who you might have seen on our show last year, a young budding footballer, he actually gave him his jersey. And the look on his face was priceless, wasn't it?
It was. Young JJ, well, we've had him on the show, and he told us his favourite player is Josh Mansour.
He had a poster made up, didn't he?
He had a poster of my favourite player and a picture. And so Josh gave him his jersey, and JJ is the son of Gus Gallen, who is a Rabbitohs 1908 member and a mad fan, and he loves us on the show. And I went up and spoke to him and Brendan, his son-in-law. And so it was good.
Poppy Gus.
One
of the biggest South fans you'll ever meet. Goes to all the training sessions.
He loves it. So
plus we get Charlie up there. Shout out to Charlie. He sings a song, the Glory Glory song, up there with me and Mavo and Brownie when he's around, and all the kids get the microphone and they just get right into it, and they really look forward to it, don't they?
It's so good getting the kids up on stage. So if you're a member and you've got kids and you're at the game, come up and they can meet Charlie Rabbit, the man behind Reggie Rabbit in the suit, and he's a great man. New South Wales Cup, chaps, you seen a bit of the second half?
Yeah, I got out there a touch late, but I saw most of the second half, and we
had a win.
Impressive, yeah.
32-10, we beat the other foundation club, the Jets.
Who were leading the comp as well.
Wow.
They were leading the comp. They're obviously affiliated with the Cronulla Sharks. They've got some really good young players. But the mighty Rabbitohs come in right over the top. Some really good forwards we've got at the moment. Tyson Hodge, a recruit. We've got Shaq Mitchell. He's playing fantastic. And he's hungry. He wants the ball all the time. He's got an offload in him.
Yep.
And a young bloke to keep an eye out for, Hugo Patterson, hits like a Mack truck. Front rower off the bench. Not a giant front rower, but a good size, very mobile. Another bloke who doesn't get a lot of raps, and we've seen him in Cairns come off the bench, play a bit of hooker, halfback, is Shannon Gardner. Came on, scored a nice try. I think he had to go out in the centres.
Yep.
One of the guys had a head knock and had to go off. Mate, they played fantastic. And led by Dean Hawkins. He's a good player.
Yep.
Kicking the ball, fantastic. I had a chat to his dad, Ash, yesterday. Shout out to you, Ash.
Yep.
Mate, they're playing some good footy. We need them to be knocking on the door, putting pressure on our first grade team, and that's what the good clubs have. First grade and reserve grade teams to reach back on and grab whenever there's an injury or suspensions or drop in form.
And another bloke you were impressed with is Talis Angianga, and I've seen him play a bit.
Powerhouse.
He's a tough young bloke, and he has a go. We've got 2 Talises at the club. No, not many clubs could say that. Lucky to have one, but we got 2, and they're both good too. They're both as good as probably each other.
Yeah.
And they played together too. So yeah, he's a good talent, and he doesn't mind mixing it up. He loves getting in there and putting shots on.
Gag's number 2 is not a bad player, the fullback.
Yep.
Jacob Gag, a big unit.
Yep.
He can certainly break a tackle at will. He's playing some good footy, and who knows, he might win a contract going forward. The other bloke we got is, you probably noticed, Tago, the centre out at Penrith, is having a great year at the moment. His brother Jake playing some good footy in our reserve grade team, so watch out for him.
We've got a few backs to look out for, so pressure on the first grade side, but if they keep winning like that, then it'll be hard to force your way in.
Well done to the Dorohey brothers, they're doing a good job down there.
Yeah, and there's a kid that's kicked the goal for the Jets called Addison Demetrio. So I don't know if he's related to JD, but
he's a cult hero. He's been around for a while. Yeah.
Yep.
Come through Manly. lower grades. I remember watching him at Manly in the under-20s competition, the old Toyota Cup. Yeah,
We'll have to ask JD.
He's a unit, mate. He's a unit.
Well, if he's a good footballer, he may well be related to JD because he was a star in the Super League over there. Try-scoring wizard, now Super Coach, head coach of the mighty Rabbitohs.
I think he's a bit old to be JD's son, but anyway, I think he's late 20s. He's late 20s.
I don't say son, but he could be related somewhere or the same blood. Okay, so before we go, and we'll be back for Teamless Tuesday, Rabbitohs TV is also brought to you by Bunnaby Water, and I'll just put that up there, a little focus on that. Bunnaby Water, supporting the Gajaga Foundation. Water with a purpose. For your office, cafe, restaurant or business, hit them up. Order now. And the juniors group of clubs, there's a few good shows on. I think they had what's the date there?
We went there.
They had Dragon on a couple of weeks ago, and they've got some big shows coming up.
I went there not once but twice yesterday. I went there.
Yeah, you did.
Had a few beers with all the boys from Lapa and Cashy and Scotty and my brother, and then we got the tram straight out the front.
Yep.
Connected straight to the train to the game. Came all the way back. Went up, had a few beers. Ello was there. Block Lions, the security for the Rabbitohs.
There you go.
Couple of the parents were there. Darren Taff was still there having a drink. Davey Piggins, Rabbitohs royalty, the Piggins.
Oh, yes.
And you know what? They had a nice band on there. We watched the footy, couple of beers. They got some good beers on tap there.
Yeah, they do heaps. Plenty of beers, and we're telling everyone this is
good food.
This is the blueprint for the footy.
Especially day games. It's great to go back there and have a few beers, debrief. They've got the second game on, or the Rabbitohs replay will be on there.
You don't have to go once. You can go twice, or you don't have to go. You can do one. Pick and choose two.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait for next year if we get out here to this ballpark venue. You know, they might do up a package deal. We'll have to speak to Keithy McCraw. They might do like a $50. You get a ticket of the game, a meal ticket at the club, and a beer or a wine voucher or a soft drink.
Yeah. So
you can go before the game or after the game. They might have post-match function. We might do the post-match P&O function there.
Oh,
who knows?
For sure. That'd be great. And then, hit the juniors up. Sure, we can say, mention Rabbitohs TV and you get your MIDI upgraded to a schooner for the same price or something like that. Or, a couple of bucks off at the Sundeck Brasserie, which is the greatest bistro on the planet for the food they put up there. And our other sponsors, now you're watching this on our George's camera with our Zeiss lens, and it, like I said, it focuses in, it laser focuses on whatever's on the screen, and it's our melons at the moment and our sponsors in the back. So thank you to the team there at George's Cameras. And last but not least, NG Farah, Glenn and the team there. They are one of the most trusted real estate in the eastern suburbs.
There's not a question. They are.
Yep.
They're the leading real estate agency in the eastern suburbs, southeastern suburbs area.
Yep.
They're killing it, mate. They've got great agents.
Yep.
Cameron Early,
Yep.
Bo Champion. Yep. They're all there.
Yep.
Doing a great job.
And like I said, our friends at Darrell Lee, happy Easter to everyone.
Yep.
Have a great long weekend. It was a great Good Friday, not a Good Friday, a great Friday. And
look, whether you're religious or not, it's about being out amongst family and friends over Easter and enjoy it. We've had a win. We're in the top 8 for the first time this year. We're going back. We're up against the Tigers next week. I mean, you can't take any opponent like this. Get out there, complete our sets, play the Rabbitohs football that we know we can play, have another win, lead into the Manly game after that. Yeah,
let's go in the positive. We're 3-3. Let's go to 4-3 next week. Onwards and upwards, up the mighty Rabbitohs.
Thanks for joining us on Rabbitohs TV.